How we all doing then, eh? How's the hangovers? I'm fine. I'm as fresh as a daisy. I was off the drink last night. I celebrated in much more responsible fashion. So I'm good. I'm ready to go. And I'm ready to recap everything that happened as Celtic secured their 55th league title. That's right, Celtic are champions once again. And I have a feeling we're going to be talking about that for another wee while. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for the support this week. We crossed the 49,000 subscriber mark, so we are on track now for 50k. We are less than 950 people away from smashing 50,000, so let's keep doing that. Go down below, hit both of those buttons. Let's carry on yesterday's celebrations here on the channel today, shall we? Here is a look at the league table from match day 34. Celtic not only top of the league, but now confirmed champions as we moved 17 points clear of Rangers following our 5-0 win over Dundee United yesterday. Of course, Rangers dropping more points, which meant mathematically Celtic were crowned champions. We've seen the celebrations at Tannadice yesterday. We've seen the crowds gather at Celtic Park to celebrate with the team and coaching staff. It is 4 in a row. And it's magic. What a feeling it is. Does it get boring? Never. Does it get tedious? Never. We're all just drinking it in right now as we win our 55th league title. You know, it's such a big deal, so we may as well celebrate it before we make it 56 next year. Yeah, a great day for Celtic. 5-0 winners and a very good performance. A statement performance, in fact, and one that has reminded us how good Celtic have been over the full course of this season. So, yeah, a champion's way to do it. We now go into the last 4 games of the season with no sort of pressure in the league, but certainly with the expectation to finish off in style and hopefully win this league by more than 20 points. So in case anybody in Glasgow needed a reminder of the honours list, here it is on screen for you. There's a beautiful reminder of how many major honours Celtic have won now. Their 55th league title, joining their 42, potentially 43 Scottish Cups, 22 League Cups and European Cup, takes us to a total of 120 major honours. By far the most successful team in Scotland, with no questions, no doubt. 120 beautiful, unbroken trophies. Oh, what a time it is to be a Celtic fan, and I might get a wee bit bitter, but who can blame me when you've just won a league title? And of course, James Forrest was a huge talking point coming out of yesterday's game, because he has now officially become Celtic's most decorated player ever, surpassing the legend Bobby Lennox. He became the first Celtic player to win 26 trophies with the club, now down as the most decorated player in the club's history, a feat that we may see beaten sometime soon by Callum McGregor if he keeps going the way he's going, but a hugely prestigious title to have. Congratulations to James Forrest, a one-club man who has served the club impeccably since his debut 15 years ago. So yeah, huge day for him, a huge piece of history for him to take at the end of the season. What a title. I mean, that is the stuff you dream about. Growing up a Celtic fan to become the club's most decorated player. It's fairy tale stuff, and I can't imagine how James Forrest feels looking at all those stats and medals, so a big congratulations to him. Naturally, Celtic winning another league title has folk trying to flip the narrative, trying to bring up the same old conversations, and of course, showing extreme levels of coping. We have had some hilarious takes on social media, and I've briefly been able to check over the past 24 hours, but I've seen bits and bobs, and wow, we've got people saying that 55's not that impressive because Rangers done it first, and because they done it, we're just catching up, and the narrative's changing, the coping is real. I mean, things like this. I mean, I'll throw that one up on screen for you. You know, Rangers supporters questioning the dominance of Celtic. We've won 19 league titles since 2000. 19. It's 2025. That is undisputed dominance. It's not up for debate. I'm not even going to sit here and try and explain why it's dominance. If you don't believe it is, you're thick. But naturally, folk down south are raising the same questions about it being boring, it being tedious. Do Celtic fans no just get bored with winning? I will never, ever, ever get bored with winning. I'm not going to go into one of the rants that I'll get dragged into every year. I don't need to explain myself to anybody at this point. I absolutely bloody love it, and long may it continue. If Celtic were to win the league title every year from here on out till the end of my life, I would not be bored. Let me just make that crystal clear. So it's another great weekend to be a Celtic fan with another potential treble on the horizon. Let's end the season in style. Let's remind everybody how we feel to be winning. And let's rub it in their faces because, well, we deserve to. We worked hard for it. We play good football and we see the rewards of that. So yeah, as I said, long may it continue. So let's talk about Brendan Rodgers very quickly, who has now won another league title at Celtic. In fact, his 4th league title. Technically he's won 5, but officially his 4th league title with the club. He spoke after the game yesterday about his future, and it was really nice to hear what he was saying, as a lot of people in the media and even some Celtic fans speculating that this year could have been his last year. Now, we spoke about this a hell of a lot on the channel this past week. We've spoke about the rumours of him maybe going down to England or a job opening up there for him, and how he's rubbished them already. Well, yesterday, following the Dundee United game, he made it very, very clear his intentions for next season, and I think we can all pretty much see now there is no doubt that Brendan Rodgers will be here. So Brendan said this: what I can say without any avoidance of doubt is that I will be here next year 200%. He made a quick quip after that about how he said 150% a couple of weeks ago. He's now upped that to 200%. And he said, I've never been happier here. I've had the most amazing season with the support of the club, the players and how they have performed. No one knows me bar very few people, and there's even less who understand me. So yeah, Brendan Rodgers making it clear he's never been happier at Celtic. This is the happiest he's been, that he has no intentions of going anywhere next season, and that 200% sure he will be Celtic manager. Look, I've said it all week in those 2 or 3 videos where we've spoke about the manager's future and we've spoke about some articles surrounding the manager's future. I've said I have no doubt that Brendan Rodgers will see out that 3-year deal. It's all about what happens after that. But all these sort of anxious waits that some people have about him next year, put it to bed. He will be here, and he's going to take us forward, and he's going to do it all again, because he's the King of Glasgow after all, isn't he? He's done it all, and he just keeps doing it again. So the last thing I wanted to talk about in today's video for our wee Sunday recap was the protest yesterday at Tannadice, or should I say protests, because on 2 separate occasions Celtic fans voiced their displeasure towards the increased ticket prices in football nowadays, and in particular, of course, Dundee United, who raised their prices to £42 for Celtic fans. That's right, it was a 25% increase on the last time we played in Tannadice in December 2024, and Dundee United shamefully trying to rinse Celtic fans out of more money. So Celtic fans threw tangerines onto the park in the first half, displayed a banner which said exactly what they think, and then in the second half threw footballs onto the park and once again said exactly what they think. Now, this has been met with a mixed reaction amongst football supporters, some saying that it's disruptive, it doesn't achieve anything and should be done in a better way, and I think the vast majority saying well done and applauding the Celtic supporters for making it clear that football, and as his life, is getting far too expensive for the working man and something has to be done. Now, off the back of those protests, the Green Brigade did in fact launch a statement. So here is what they said on Twitter last night following the game, essentially touching on that 25% rise of £8 from the same fixture in December 2024. While Dundee United set today's ticket price, all clubs are responsible for this culture of greed, selfishness and pettiness, which is pricing out working people. We understand that ticket revenue is vital to Scottish football. However, there must be consideration given to the supporters who remain the heart, soul and blood of our game. And once again, we emphasise the need for Scottish football Football to review its relationship with supporters, there must be a proper framework introduced to engage with supporters and protect their interests. We remain in communication with supporters groups across Scotland on how best to achieve this. A comprehensive list of all Celtic fixtures and ticket prices for this season follows to demonstrate the financial cost of following Celtic this season. Despite this already excessive cost, we expect further increases next season, sadly led by Celtic with an unjustifiable 5% minimum increase to season tickets for the 25-26 campaign. In addition to unfair pricing, Celtic also persist with an unfair ticket allocation process with zero transparency on how tickets are allocated. So we hope that today's disruptions do get some form of point across to all clubs and the game's relationship with its supporters. Finally, we ask that Dundee United donate our 40 footballs to a local kids charity. So this was then followed up with a chart of every single Celtic game this season and how much the ticket cost for that game, on top, of course, of the season ticket prices which some fans have to pay. As you can see there, you're looking at League Cup games with tickets costing upwards of £25, Scottish Cup games with ticket prices upwards of £30 on occasions, and of course Champions League games where you're paying £46 a ticket at Celtic Park. If you were following Celtic everywhere last season, if you were following them home and away, you were having to pay £1,867 for your season book, European home games, Cup home games, away games across all competitions, nearly £2,000. And the funny thing is, out of that chart, if you go back and look at it, the cheapest ticket for £16 was to Borussia Dortmund at the Westfalenstadion. That's right. Not Motherwell or Aberdeen or Ross County. No, the cheapest ticket was Borussia Dortmund. Arguably the nicest football stadium to visit in the entire list. But that's not the point. It doesn't matter where you're going, what stadium it is, how nice the city is, or what competition you're playing in. The fact that we are paying in an average of £35 per ticket to watch your team home and away is absolutely ridiculous. Something needs to be done. Football is becoming unaffordable and being stripped away from the market it was intended for. And people wonder why the atmosphere at stadiums and, of course, Celtic Park is dying, because the fans who would make the noise, the working class people, are being priced out. So something has to change. I know Celtic only have so much control and ticket prices with the way that they need to balance the books, make money to pay their bills, pay players, whatever. But my good God almighty, there needs to be a dialogue started, and I think that's all that the North Cov and the Green Brigade in particular are trying to say. On that note, I would like to display a couple of points that were brought up on social media yesterday, which really pissed me off and really made no sense. A couple of fans of other clubs bringing up points like this, saying that Celtic fans are hypocritical, that this is what we charge to sit in our away section. This one here saying that Celtic fans are totally alright with Celtic charging Dundee United fans £76 for trips to Celtic Park. And no, that is not the point at all. Thick people who open their mouth before they can actually do any reading or understanding. And the shame to keep the tweets up even following the Green Brigade statement is hilarious. That was not the point Celtic were trying to make. They were aiming it at everybody, including the board members of our own club. If you are thick enough to think that it was targeted towards Dundee United and Dundee United only, or other clubs, then you're an idiot. It's just as simple as that. There's no other way I can say it than that. I don't care how harsh I might sound, but you're thick as mince. Celtic fans are making a point. We have protested at our own stadium plenty of times in the past, even though some people on Twitter are trying to pretend that we haven't. This is something that we are addressing to our own board as well. So, aye. And also, just to... this one here, £32 to sit behind a pole with a sere neck, spelt sere neck all game, said a Dundee supporter. Dundee bring about 15 fans to Parkhead on average. And I'm not even fucking joking when I say that. It's empty. If you choose to sit behind that pole to get your photo to try and make a point, then you're a fucking clown. Because that whole section's empty. You can move. You don't need to sit behind the pole. You're an attention seeker. Gaze peace. So will anything ever be done about ticket prices? Well, we just need to wait and see. I don't think so. I think it's only going to get more expensive as the years go by, and that'll be that. So we'll see, but hopefully the club realise the error of their ways and other clubs follow suit. Right, that does it for today then. A bit of a long one for a Sunday night. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know all your comments and thoughts down below. I'll see you for a week building towards the derby starting tomorrow. But until then, take care of yourself. God bless. And remember, lads, champions again. See you next time.